Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy Kai Sage here, bringing you back another video. This is my thoughts on non-Harmony Macro after 50 hours of gameplay. So as you guys know, next patch, Harmony Necro is getting nerfed. Now, I've tested it on PTS, and the Grave Robber synergy is a joke. I know they dialed it back a little bit, but it doesn't matter. I was hitting like 3k Grave Robbers with Bloodthirsty, and that's the new Bloodthirsty, which is supposed to be crazy damage, and it did nothing. So that means that, and I don't disagree with the change. I think the ball zergs that were abusing Harmony needed to be stopped. And so the only thing I wish is that maybe they would have increased the toolkit a little bit, especially offensively. Obviously, defensively, crows are insane. But offensively, increasing their kit a little bit more if you're going to take away something so vital seemed to make a lot of sense. However, we are where we are. We got to make the best of it. And so here's my thoughts on all that, and here's kind of everything I've tried. Like I said, I've put in about 50 hours just on non-Harmony Crow. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, for the people in the comments saying that they've played like this forever and they get clips, show me. Because, and I don't watch every YouTuber, so maybe I'm missing something. But the clips I've seen have been 20 minutes of running around, getting 2 kills, and not really doing anything. I prefer action-packed videos and a lot of action, a lot of kills, all that good stuff. Now, these clips I'm showing you kind of have some bomb content, kind of show a little bit of the builds I've tried. Ignore the bomb stuff. It's kind of just to fill the time and give me something to talk over. However, just let that lay where it lay. Now, let's talk about weapon types. So what I mean by that is, what do you want to run front bar in terms of dual wield, Inferno staff, lightning staff? What do you want to run back bar? So I'll rank my top two for each. And so front bar, my number one is going to be lightning staff, and number two is going to be dual wield. The reason for that is because of spammables. Now, I will put a disclaimer in dual wield being number two. If they ever buff Magicka Scythe and make it a little bit more offensive based instead of kind of tank based like it is right now, all bets are off. Dual wield is going to be better. However, Crushing Shock is a really, really good spammable right now. Now, it's not the most pressure in the world unless you pair it with really good sets that kind of help buff that damage a little bit. But Lightning Staff is going to give you a lot of the damage that dual wield can give you while also buffing your AoE, which the key thing with macro, and I mean real macro, I don't mean hybrids, is keeping your AoE burst potential. And that is going to be really important for building your crow. And so Lightning Staff helps you do that while also giving you access to, in my opinion, the best spammable for Magicka Necromancer right now. And so, with that being said, dual wield, you're going to want to run Scythe or Vampire Scratch, either one, up to you. But Scythe, like I said, gives you that AoE burst component, and Vamp Scratch just doesn't. It's a little bit more pressure. Obviously, it hits harder, but not by a whole lot. And like I said, it only hits one person. So take that, with a grain of salt. Now, when we think about back bar, Ice Staff is going to be your best bet. Now, if you're running Lightning Staff or Inferno Staff front bar, Sword and Board is really good. I personally just don't like it. I don't have a reason to not like it, really, other than the enchant, which the weapon and spell damage Berserker enchant on the back bar is way easier to proc with an Ice Staff, and it also gives the full amount versus half on a Sword and Board. I also don't really like having anything melee on Magicka. Now, maybe that's just me, because should I say I don't really like having a melee back bar, should I say. I like Resto or Ice Staff preferably on my Magicka builds. Maybe that's some weird random stuff about me that I have, but that's just kind of how I feel about that. And so with that being said, I've covered that. Let's go ahead and hop into some sets that I've tried and some of the best sets that I found. One of the ones I really liked, and probably the best front bar set that I found for Lightning Staff or Inferno Staff, is Draugr. Draugr puts a lot of pressure on people. It can hit, it has no cooldown, so it can hit as many times as you need it to. It does a really good job of giving macro pressure because it pretty much has none in its innate class abilities. And so Draugr is number one for me. Same thing for Inferno or Lightning. Burning Spell Weave is my solid number two. It is so much spell damage that it really gives you a lot of burst. And so there's two ways to think about classes, and it's pressure and burst. Some classes have both. Some classes have neither. Most classes only have one or the other. For example, like Magicka Nightblade. Magicka Nightblade has crazy burst and pressure because its spammable hits really hard. Its Assassin's Will can come up very frequently, and those things hit for crazy hard. Once again, you can basically two-shot someone, but if someone is really tanky, you can put a lot of pressure on them with a lot of spammables and things like that. So that's kind of how my mind works on scrolls anyway. With that being said, let's go ahead and talk about some dual wield sets. So Dagon's is really good. I really like Dagon's and keeping that AoE damage. And these are things you'll have to look up if you don't know what they do, because I can't talk about what every set does or I'd be talking here forever. Another really good dual wield, it can be Burning Spell Weave. The only problem with it is you have to run Ricochet Skull, and Ricochet Skull is atrocious, so I don't recommend that. Another good dual wield setup is going to be Rally Cry. It gives you some damage and keeps you defensive. Mechanical Acuity is good because those are for more like crit builds. However, your burst is very predictable, and so take that as you may, but that's why dual wield unfortunately isn't as good as Lightning Staff, because the two sets that I mentioned, Burning Spellweave and Dragarkin, are very reliant on you having a staff, and so that's why dual wield comes in also at number 2 on my front bar sets. Let's talk about some back bar sets now. Now, I only have a number 1, and it's Wretched Vitality. Wretched Vitality is an amazing set. I guess if you're forced me to pick 2, I'll pick Rally Cry as my second. Reason why I pick Wretched is because Crow Sustain is really bad. Now, if you sit in the back of Zergs, I don't want to hear you trying to tell me that Crow Sustain is good. I'm talking about if you really X, you know that if you don't have Wretched on, or you don't have Atro and like 12 Magicka recovery glyphs, you'll know pretty quickly that the sustain is bad. And if you just heard my mic, I apologize. My mic is being crazy right now, turning itself off. And it has a operator guy who tells me when it's turned off or whatnot. And that's that. Wretched Vitality is the best backbar set for macro. I really, I'm not hearing nothing else. Now, if you want to be tankier, you can run stuff like Mara's and Iron Blood or whatever the case may be. However, that's not conducive for Xing, in my opinion. Because you won't have enough sustain to put pressure on people, and you won't have enough sustain to continuously heal yourself or your teammates, whatever. Another thing that we can talk about quickly is Mythics, Arena Weapons, and Monster Helms. All those together. Arena Weapons, Master's Dual Wield is amazing. Vatishran Ice Staff is really good. Vatishran Lightning Staff could be really good. It just depends. I don't like double arena weapons personally. I like one. That way you don't have to give up a 5 set. And so that's just my thoughts on that. Monster Helms. Balorix is by far and away the best still. You can run cheese stuff like Zon or whatever, Marsalak, whatever. However, Balorix is going to be the most consistent, and it's going to help with that burst. Also help with pressure, because obviously you'll have a lot more pen and spell damage. When it comes to Mythics, Sea Serpent Coil to me is number 1. Not by a lot though. I really like Markin as well. I know Markin doesn't do a whole lot. I know that Markin is, more on the just making your character sheet look a little prettier. But I personally really like it because it doesn't slow you down like Sea Serpent does. But Sea Serpent's damage is just too good. And so, with that being said, that's kind of all I have to say about that. Then another thing, and just some final notes for myself, is that you have to build in a way you like. There's no right answer to all of this. Like I said, hopefully one day ZOS really improves their toolkit, and hopefully one day they really, make them a little bit more offensive. I'll be honest with you guys, I almost have my Crow 5-starred. So that once I 5-star something, I usually, if you've been following the channel for a while, if you haven't, know that when I 5-star something, I don't play it a lot after that. I kind of feel like the character's complete, PvP-wise at least anyway. And so, and I'm very close. So I'm already a 4-star. And so I don't know how much longer I'll even be playing this anyway. Obviously, I've played a ton of classes and put out content for a ton of stuff. So keep expecting that. I have a lot of fun playing a bunch of different things. And so know that you can expect a lot of different stuff. But let me know your guys' thoughts. If you guys have tried it, if you guys have put in the hours to seeing what macro works, seriously, let me know. I'm always open for suggestions. I don't think I know it all. But I will say, though, please have proof. Please don't make suggestions if you haven't really tried these things, or if you don't have the content or the PvP clips to back it up. because I'm just not going to take you seriously if you don't. Um, then that's just that. So let me know your guys' thoughts. Let me know, how macro's been going for you. Let me know if you plan to play it in the future. This video is, like I said, is really just for people who want to main it. It's really not for people who, or people who kind of like playing more of the support style or whatever. I personally don't, and that's why I've been obsessed with finding a way to make macro viable in a damage sense. But, to each their own. That's all I got for you guys this time. Like I said, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you want to see from me in the future. Subscribe if you're new. Follow my Twitch. I know I keep saying I'm going to stream. Eventually, I'll get to it. And that's all I got. I'll see you guys next time. Later.